Now, both down and synthetic have their pros and cons, and neither are perfect for every scenario. So down offers unparalleled warmth to weight, which is a good thing. In addition to that, it's much, much more packable than a synthetic, and it's also a lot lighter as well, which is 3 pretty big bonuses.
But it has an Achilles heel, doesn't it?
And that is one that's pretty close to the heart of the British climate, that is, it ain't great when it's wet, which is a biggie, because all of those great things mean a lot less when it's raining, which it's probably going to do in about 35 seconds time, and all of that good stuff goes to pot.
Yeah, because the feathers get crushed by the water and it loses that lofting, and therefore loses insulation.
Now, there's a couple of things that they've done in recent years to help mitigate that. The first of which features on all the jackets that I have in my presence here. It's the Hydrophobic Down. So this is you featuring Nikwax Hydrophobic Down, and this treatment means that it's much more resilient. The hydrophobic, it repels the water away.
And it maintains the shape of the feathers.
Which is a happy thing. Now, the other alternative is that you use a waterproof and taped membrane, which helps to keep all the water out. Now, this is a positive in terms of keeping the down dry. The only negative is in terms of the breathability.
And it makes it heavier, does it?
And it makes it heavier.
Bulkier.
And again, part of the nice thing about all these down jackets is that breathability. It can help push all of that sweat away from you, which is a horrible image to have in your head, and away and out into the environment around you.
So because of that Achilles heel, which is pretty big, you also get these synthetic jackets.
Tell me more about these synthetic jackets.
So brands have been trying to replicate down, but in a synthetic way, which means that when it gets wet, it maintains its loft. So a synthetic jacket will maintain that warmth even when it's wet.
So what are the drawbacks to that then?
Well, the downside generally is it's not as packable. So this synthetic fibre, the payoff is that it doesn't pack as small and it can be a little bit heavier. So our 2 jackets, if we pack them up together, this one would probably be slightly bigger than this one and heavier.
So what does this mean in terms of where you'd use it and why you'd use it?
Well, a synthetic jacket, I think I would probably choose that if I was going to be spending a lot of time in the British climate, particularly Scottish winter, because you need something that stays warm even when it's really wet. And if I'm putting a jacket on over the top of all my other layers, I want it to be warm. I don't need a flat down that isn't working. However, if I'm going somewhere that is better weather, like the Alps,
this would be far more suitable. I guess it's funny now that, because modern technology has meant that say for instance with what we've got here with the waterproof down and the hydrophobic downs, you can take them to Scotland for the winter climbing. But there's just that element of traditionalism.
Risk, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a risk. But they are making these hybrid jackets now. So this one here, this has feathers and down in the places that probably don't get wet, like the back. But the hood and the shoulders and the cuffs are synthetic. So maybe as a mid-layer, that would cover both bases. I could wear this in Scotland, but also in the Alps.
There's loads and loads of differing types of insulated jackets. But as a sweeping generalisation, synthetic is brilliant for wetter weather climates because it keeps doing the job no matter how grim it gets. On the downside of things, it's a little more vulnerable, but those benefits of it being lighter, warmer, and more compressible are really good when you can get them into use.